Australia features a striker whose nickname is Cum Dog, who they've naturalized from Scotland, and an 18-year-old who just started playing professional football.
Did you say cum dog?
Yes, his nickname is actually Cum Dog. Go look up Jason Cummings.
Hello and welcome, friends. We are the Vassals of Kingsgrave, and by popular demand, we have revived the critically acclaimed Soccercast. Today, we are setting aside domestic football and all of the rivalries that come with it, and we're here to preview the 2022 World Cup in Qatar, which kicks off this Sunday, the 20th of November. I'm joined today by my fellow footy fanatics, Bina.
Hey everyone, this is Bina 007, recovering Spurs supporter, now Gooner and England supporter.
Bing.
Hey, this is Bing. My team in the English Championship is currently third, but we just got our asses kicked by our direct rivals, so that's fun.
And if we're introducing ourselves with our affiliated teams, I am Noah, Pops88, and I am top of the league with Arsenal and top of the league with Leyton Orient.
Leyton Orient, that's a good one. That's good.
Life is good. Life is good. So this is the first tournament I can remember in my lifetime where there is so much conversation that isn't actually about the football itself. I mean, there's so much to cover. Maybe we'll need to do a two-parter. But where do we begin, guys? What are your thoughts and feelings going into this tournament?
Look, Bina, you can go first. I have a launch deal, so you go first.
I feel that, if people want to know why we're upset about this, it's worth watching the FIFA Uncovered documentary on Netflix, which, talks a lot about the historic corruption of FIFA and how it reached hopefully its peak with the allocation of the World Cups to Russia and Qatar. Qatar, a nation with clearly no football heritage, with a climate that's utterly unsuitable in summer, and having to completely build the infrastructure, not just the stadiums, but the airport, the hotels, the residential, everything. You can talk about it from an environmental perspective. You can also talk about it from the perspective of the merits of taking international soccer and the spotlight that it brings to a country that has an appalling human rights, labour rights, gay rights record, women's rights. I think that a number of people have come out and said that going forward, you should only have a World Cup in a country that could also have a Women's World Cup, which you couldn't in Qatar. So clearly it was a tournament awarded through corruption. Clearly it's appalling. It's happening there. It is an attempt at sport washing. And the only way that we get around that while still enjoying the football, because we all still want to watch, is by doing what we're doing now, which is talking about it at the start of everything and making sure people understand that Qatar is not being let off the hook in any way.
Look, I've been paying attention to this since before Qatar was awarded a World Cup back in 2008, 2009, sometimes stupid like that. Talking about it has obviously not changed FIFA at all in making this decision. There's all sorts of ludicrous things that go into making Qatar the host of the World Cup. There is the corruption, which is blatant, and currently the FIFA, the former FIFA president Sepp Blatter was investigated by the FBI for his role in giving Qatar the World Cup. Michel Platini, the president of UEFA, is also under investigation by the FBI and charged for his role as well. There's that. There's the human rights, obviously appalling. And we're not talking about just this country has bad human rights issues in general. Plenty of places that hosted important sporting events have really terrible human rights records. China hosted the recent Olympics. Is China a good place to do that? Russia hosted the previous World Cup. Would FIFA give Russia another World Cup now? But the thing about Qatar is that the stadiums in which the players will be playing in starting Sunday are built on the blood of 10,000 migrant workers who are essentially enslaved in Qatar. That's what, and they're maltreated, and many of them died building these stadiums so people can play football. That's what we're talking about. There's the consideration of the fact that this tournament is currently held in November. It was supposed to be originally held in the summer, according to Qatari officials, believing that they can create some sort of stadium that have some sort of mobile air conditioning going on. Technology that did not exist while they were making these promises. It wasn't possible, so now we're in November, which is in the middle of a football calendar, which means that because it's football and the domestic leagues and the club international club tournaments, they refuse to also just shorten their schedule to fit everything in. What that means is that players have to play extra games this season. All the schedule is jam packed. We have tons of injuries. This tournament's missing some of its best players simply because these people are so short-sighted and not even consider that this could be a factor.
Yeah, and it's amazing, isn't it? Because France should be a favourite, but it's lost many of its good players to injury. Senegal,
lost another one.
Yeah, so it's going to be a crazy World Cup where we don't know whether the quality of play clearly will be affected. The mood's going to. I think we can all unanimously agree that this is not the atmosphere going into it is really hostile. The only thing I can remember very vaguely from when I was a kid was the Argentina World Cup, which came just after the Falklands War. And at one point there was talk about whether we should go and what the atmosphere was when we went and whether the World Cup pool was fixed so that Argentina wouldn't play England. I mean, but that was kind of like weird for two countries. Yeah, I've never seen something like this. And even beyond China getting the Olympics, I mean, you could argue that regardless of the human rights record, China does have a history in athletics of that, and it's one of the world's most populous countries. It deserves to have the Olympics and representation, I feel. But Qatar getting the World Cup is just a category beyond. You know, even Russia had a decent bid. It was corrupt, but Russia did have a decent bid, and it does have a football culture. I would highly recommend to people, if they like podcasting, to listen to The Rest is History, which is a great podcast. But the latest episode has a long-form interview with Gary Lineker. He talks about the Mexico World Cup, the Argentinian one. He was actually in the room when the England bid wasn't picked and Russia and Qatar were. Absolutely fascinating on all these figures like Patini and Blatter. So definitely give that a listen if you want to know more about this. But it is what it is, right? This is where we are now. How about you, Pops? Yeah. How do you feel, Pops?
It's hard. I mean, you guys have touched upon many of the issues, you know, both mucking up our sporting calendar, but also, you know, the horrible treatment of the migrant workers out there, the monumental climate footprint that this tournament is going to leave behind, you know, with the air conditioning open roofed stadiums and, you know, all the just everything that goes along with it. I've spent the afternoon sort of going down a bit of a rabbit hole, reading more and more about the working conditions there, and you can't help but be torn as a football fan. You know, the FIFA documentary was really good. I had no idea about the Argentina tournament back in the late 70s. You know, they're comparing it with Hitler's Olympic Games, and you know, you kind of have to feel that this is in that same category. But the question, actually, to touch upon what you said, being about the football calendar. I mean, Arsenal played 13 games in October and had 2 postponed.
Yeah.
For a long time now, 6, 7, 8 years, maybe more, footballers' well-being has been second, you know, so far down the pecking order of what organisers of these tournaments consider. And it's just more games, more money, more revenue, you know, some sort of, you know, there's a tournament in England called the League Cup, which every team in the Premier League who participated played their B team. Why couldn't this tournament have been postponed or cancelled to give just a bit more time? Injuries popping up everywhere. Everything is just insane. But then, you know, we got to ask ourselves, what is the point where we would, you know, what would stop us? I mean, can we separate it? And I think we can. I think we can separate these issues from enjoyment of the game, and I don't think we should be punishing ourselves for wanting to watch some of these games. And I think, to your point, we are talking about it, and everyone is acutely aware of how awful a lot in the build up to this tournament has been.
Yeah, and I think that it's backfired, hasn't it? Sports washing has backfired because we have all educated ourselves so much on the past corruption of FIFA. People know about it in a way they didn't know. I think very few people in the world truly understood what was going on in Qatar. They might have just like vaguely had some view that it would be quite misogynistic and homophobic. I think, like you were saying, I've gone down the rabbit hole of looking at about the slave labor. I think a lot of us as fans have been educated on what happens there and in other countries, and it's opened our eyes to it. And we've really had to think about, the climate change implications of all of these major tournaments that go on, whether it's, the T20 Cricket World Cup in Australia, it's the same thing, right? So I feel that sports washing has backfired, and Qatar has paid an awful lot of money for advertising itself as a go-forward nation in the world. And actually, far more people are aware of it, that's true, but not in a good way. And that's a good result in a weird way.
Oh, well, I mean, so it depends on what their current goals are with this World Cup. The goal is to show how flagrantly they can get away with things in terms of popular media. That hasn't worked. They're also not handling the international media stuff all that very well. Recently, this was just a couple of days ago. A Danish news station tries to film outside the stadium and was told that their camera will be broken if they don't stop filming. This is the kind of country that we're talking about. This is how they run things over there. I guess I'm just incredibly cynical about all of this, especially in recent years regarding football, the development of things like Super League and all that. They're going to come out with a lot of money. Qatar also owns a club team in PSG that currently employs Neymar, Messi, and Kylian Mbappe.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
I think you're spot on. Like for the three of us who have been watching football for a long time, I think maybe for the casual viewer, it's a lot easier to there's more outrage, but we've been ground down over many, many years of watching the game evolve into this bloated beast of television money and questionable morals.
This is something from John Oliver, in which he has been covering this scandal far longer time ago, to his credit, going all the way back to 2012, 2013. But there's something that was in one of his segments, which was a woman who just says, "Football's a religion. It's a religion." That's the reason I'm watching this World Cup, because everything else associated with sport.
I think the problem is for fans it's a religion, but for it's just big business. It's a multi-billion-dollar industry, and any multi-billion-dollar industry, whether it's music, football, entertainment, pharmaceuticals, oil, banking, whatever it is, whenever there's that much money, there will be vested interests in corruption. And why would sport be any different just because we have some romantic view of it? So I agree. I think we've all been cynical for a long time, but I have to say, watching FIFA Uncovered, like you, Pops, and seeing that Argentina World Cup, there were longevities of corruption and depths of the corruption, even thinking that I'm so cynical, even I didn't expect. And that's cool. But we have another joiner.
Hello. How's it going?
Hello, Neil. Welcome.
Yep.
Thanks for having me. Sorry I was late.
You missed all the bad parts, us discussing the bad parts of this tournament.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I didn't get through all the FIFA Netflix, but I look forward to sort of watching it. I'm very interested in it. And, good. We got past that part.
Just quickly, do you want to give us your thoughts going into this World Cup? We've touched upon everything but the football.
I guess I've casually watched it as a American that hasn't had a lot of stake in watching soccer, football. I played it growing up, but like most Americans, we're growing up playing it and then not following it. And then during COVID, for whatever reason, I decided watching Premier League and picked Tottenham to follow, which has been fun, but also, I was destined to pick a team that would make me upset. And like my Cleveland, Ohio sports teams, they are tragically, for the most part, underachieving. So, I was destined to pick Tottenham, and I'm looking forward to this. Some of the problematic location, the usual FIFA problems are, definitely on my mind, but yeah, I'm going to enjoy it. And I'm really watching it from a perspective of my Tottenham players doing well, or most importantly, not getting hurt. And then just kind of taking it in. I don't expect anything from the United States really, maybe to get out of the group stage, but that's probably about it.
Awesome. Thank you. I think let's wrap up this section. We've recommended a few places to go off and do some homework. There was obviously some fantastic articles that The Guardian have written on the World Cup, focusing heavily on the migrant workers situation. And also I read on Le Monde today something that was Also excellent, but let's talk about the game. Let's move on to the actual tournament itself, which it just feels like it's popped up so quickly. It starts this Sunday, and it kicks off with the host Qatar against Ecuador. But what I thought could be fun for some, and maybe not fun for others who get it horribly wrong. But we run through each group and make some predictions of who's gonna finish top and second. If anyone has some outlandish ideas, if anyone foresee, usually the hosts do very well in tournaments, as you can recall from, I think Russia made it to the semis.
Quarterfinals.
Okay, quarterfinals.
I mean, if
I don't know
Qatar
if
make it out
anyone.
of the group, that will be phenomenal. I mean, how far do you think Qatar would pay an opposing side a bung, like the players, to like throw a match?
That's going to happen. It's not going to happen at World Cup level. This stuff happens at the league level of like some African second league or something like that. It doesn't happen at the international level. Do we want to go through it group by group, like which teams will make it out of the group first?
Yeah. Let's start with A, I believe. It comes first. I mean, for me personally, I'm not going to see too many surprises here. I do think the runners-up spot is open. But what do you guys think?
So first about the host Qatar and their hopes of getting that. It's not zero.
Actually, wait. Do you want to just say who's in Group A for the listener in case they're not looking
at
a soccer chart?
Of course. We have in Group A, we have Qatar, the Netherlands, Ecuador, and Senegal.
Senegal to top it, baby. Senegal is strong, even without Mane. I mean, come on.
So Qatar is, again, I said Qatar's chance is not zero. Their team isn't terrible. In fact, they've won the Asian Cup, I believe, in 2017 with basically just this team. And so how Qatar decided to, ignoring all the horrible stuff on the nation and whatever, we're going to this team. It's basically almost entirely from one single club. And they've been playing together for 5-6 years. So chemistry-wise, they're there. In competitive competitions, they've done okay. The Asian Cup was probably an outlier, but they did great in that. They participated in the American Gold Cup recently, the North American Gold Cup, where they did okay. They didn't get out of the group, but what did they? I don't remember. They didn't. Are
you predicting an upset then? Because they've got Netherlands and Senegal, which I think people would assume would be the top two, but...
Right. I think Netherlands wins this group. And with Netherlands, last time we did the Euros, I was very down on the Netherlands because their coach sucked. Now they brought back Louis van Gaal for the third time because they can't find any other coaches besides Louis van Gaal to coach this team. But because it's Louis van Gaal, Netherlands is not only probably going to top the group, but they're sneaky. There might be a sneaky dark horse. Louis van Gaal always does well in big tournaments. He gets his players to buy in. At this point, nobody is going to question Louis van Gaal and his methods. And they do. And
it's going to be his last World Cup, right, Van Gaal?
Who knows? The last World Cup was supposed to be his last World Cup, and he is back again in his 80s. Anyways, Netherlands probably has the best defense in the entire World Cup with De Vrij, De Ligt, Virgil van Dijk, Nathan Ake, you name it, Julian Timber, like all-star defense. They have no striker. Memphis Depay is still their quote-unquote striker. That's going to be a problem. But they have a lot of talent from defense up to midfield, up to the wings. Yeah, well, who knows? But Netherlands, pretty good. I think they win the group. Senegal, normally, if you asked me a few weeks ago, I would say, yeah, sure, Senegal's got number 2. Without Mane, Senegal can't score goals. They have very hard. Scoring goals is like pulling teeth for them. And Mane was usually the guy who pops up to score like 1 or 2 for them. Now he's not there, at least for the first 2 games. That's going to be a huge question mark. And you should not count out Ecuador. I think actually I'm going to pick Netherlands and Ecuador to get out of this group. Ecuador has a very young team, but a lot of very exciting talent. They also can't still have a good striker, but their entire team also played together for from the under 20s onwards, and they were very successful at the youth levels. A lot of their players are developing very well, playing for not the top clubs in Europe yet, but getting there. So I actually think Netherlands and Ecuador.
Wow, bold call on Ecuador, but one to watch for sure. I still think without Mane, Senegal would get second, but tournament play, who knows?
Yeah.
All right, so Neil, where's your top 2 prediction landing?
I would do Netherlands, and then it's a toss-up. I don't know much about the last three teams. Qatar, I doubt they make it out, and I guess it's a toss up between Senegal and Ecuador. And when was it announced just recently that Mane wasn't playing for Senegal? I thought he was
Just
just yesterday. Oh, okay.
Like
He's gonna.
he's in the squad, but he's not playing the first two games at least.
Yeah, he's
Okay.
missing the first couple.
Interesting. Yeah, I guess the odds have Senegal by a little bit, but now it's probably a coin flip between Ecuador and Senegal. So I'll take Ecuador. Why not?
All right. No one's backing the hosts. Bye bye Qatar at the first time of asking. Well, we'll see, and then we can maybe guesstimate how much money was paid to the Netherlands, who go out bottom of the group. So now we move on to Group B. This is where it's a bit spicy. We're going to get some rivalries that we said we'd leave at the door flaring up again. We have England, Iran, the USA, and Wales.
I have thought about this group, but somebody else please start.
I think that England is lucky to be in this group because we're shit and we might just get out. I would imagine USA will top it, will be second maybe, Wales and Iran behind, but
yeah, I mean it's a strong squad. We're very leaky at the back, and a lot of the defense is very mishmash. I mean, if you look at whichever centre back pairing Southgate goes for,
Harry Maguire. Just
Dyer.
admit it. It's Harry Maguire.
And
It's Harry
Dyer.
Maguire.
Yeah, which doesn't exactly fill you with confidence and joy at the prospect of those two fridges lumbering around the defence. I mean, personally, I'd go for the more agile John Stones and Ben White at the back, but I don't think that will be done. I think Southgate has made a massive blunder not bringing Tomori, who's been quite good for Milan, I believe.
Yeah. Look, I watched the USMNT religiously. I watch them probably too much to be a good judge of how well they can do in this tournament. USMNT is the youngest team in this entire tournament by far. If you look at their squad, the vast majority of them are under the age of 25. What this means is that, first of all, just simply because of the youth, the US tends to be incredibly inconsistent, and hence it could be possible they beat England. But it could be entirely possible that they lose all three games and go out the tournament that way. The USA also is married to a system by their coach, Greg Berhalter, that can be incredibly painful to watch at times. The USA could not score a single goal in the first half of a game throughout the entire qualifying round.
wow. Is this the weakest group of the tournament then?
It's hard to say.
Because you guys can't score and we can't defend. And then
yeah, so right now the USA has a lot of talent up in the wings with Christian Pulisic and Gio Reyna, who might become a star in this tournament. They have a decent midfield base. The defense is also a question mark. So our defense going into qualifiers was a guy named Miles Robinson, who was our best defender. He's injured. Thanks, FIFA. But we do have Arsenal's backup goalie, Matt Turner, who has been very good. Who is very good. Iran. Do we want to open the can of worms? That's Iran. Should Iran be in this tournament?
You know, obviously, we are a predominantly Song of Ice and Fire related podcast, and without too many spoilers for Hot D, I did have a vague comparison and thought of Italy going to FIFA begging Sepp Blatter on the Iron Throne for Iran to be thrown out because they are illegitimate, and getting echoes of Vayman Valerian, and then Sepp Blatter ordering their tongues to be cut out.
I just really hope that everyone who plays Iran, the fans and the people on the pitch, wear black armbands or in some way show their support of the incredibly brave women who are currently protesting and being attacked in Iran. I hope there's some way to show that, take whatever the equivalent is of taking the knee. I hope there's some way that whenever we play them, we can show that.
Absolutely.
Speaking of adding to the geopolitical tension that already exists with this tournament.
So everybody's really down on England. I'm kind of surprised by that. You guys really have your doubts about them getting out of this group.
I think it's just the defensive issues. I mean, we have got a plethora of attacking options, some of the best attacking talent in the world. I mean, there are also maybe some concerns in midfield. I've heard a lot of people talking about Bellingham playing in centre mid. I must admit I've not watched him too much. He's always struck me as a bit more of a zippy winger type player, but apparently there are grounds for him to play in midfield, which would certainly add a bit more flair and excitement in there than the usual Rice Phillips or Henderson, just kind of the metronomes in midfield.
It's with England. I'm wondering if the Southgate has gone past the stage of no return in international soccer when his message has gotten stale and no longer effective. That happens to all international managers. That said, I think the defensive issues might be overplayed. I think Southgate's going to make up for that by playing incredibly defensive and conservative, as he usually does. And I'm basically sort of predicting that England will still top the group, but they're going to go through the group winning 1-0, 1-0, and then drawing 0-0. And the hope for the USA is that we're the team that draws them 0-0.
I'm excited for the Black Friday. That was a kind of a stroke of marketing genius to put it on that day. That works out well.
We'll see.
Interesting.
I think we haven't talked about Wales. Gareth Bale plays football? ?
Occasionally,
he sort of did for in the MLS for LAFC. He scored a goal that basically got them to MLS Cup after barely wanting to play football for most of the season, like he usually does. But the guy always shows up for big tournaments for Wales. It's whatever club it's golf, whatever Wales, and whatever club he plays for. Right, that's his priority. With Wales, the team is okay. They could easily get second place in this group if Bale just scores a couple free kicks and they can just not let USA or Iran score, which isn't that hard to do. But
Dan James isn't a bad player either. I mean, Aaron Ramsey is long past his best.
Oh, Aaron Ramsey is done.
Yeah. I mean, the wing back Williams for Nottingham Forest, he's a decent attacking player.
Probably the most scary player in Wales to me.
Yeah, I think that there's some damage that they could do down their left hand side. But I mean, we still got a bunch of groups to go through, so let's get our predictions. I mean, I'm going to go out there. I'm going to say, got to pick England, got to pick Wales, top two.
I guess I'll go with the USA and England. I mean, England, USA, that order. I guess I have to because I'm a USA fan, but I'm not, and that's not a vote of confidence for the USA.
I'll go England for sure. To be honest, I'd be happy if either USA or Wales made it second. Again, I'm not real high on or really know much about USA. I like Gareth Bale. I like Ben Davies. So again, this is all skewed towards my my Premier League fandom. So if I have to pick, I'll pick USA than England.
I'll put you down for Iran then. just like in Group A, I've got you down for Qatar. Right. Just back in the Middle Eastern team.
I'm gonna clean up with all my bets.
And Bina, I'm guessing England.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. But actually, I think in this group, I mean, obviously I want England to top it and go through. I think we're all anyone but Iran, right? Like, I'd be happy to see USA or Wales go through. I mean, I guess the boyos, it means so much to them. So I guess I'd be hoping for an England-Wales combo.
It really does. It really does. All right. Well, hurtling through to Group C, slightly more exciting set of players, teams even. Argentina, Saudi Arabia, Mexico, and Poland. Are Saudi Arabia the worst team in the tournament?
Costa Rica might be, at least according to whatever gambling site I pulled up here.
It's a tough one. I mean, the big one is Lewandowski. For anyone who's ever done World Cup or Euro Fantasy, Lewandowski is awful in big tournaments. Absolutely useless. Lethal throughout his career for all of the teams he's played for. Dreadful when it matters for his country.
I mean, I'm assuming Argentina wins the group because I assume they're going to win the tournament. And then I would put Mexico second, I guess. And then, yeah.
Yeah. I would back that.
Yeah, I'm doing the same. Argentina, Mexico.
Thing?
Sorry, I forgot I was muted and I was about to shit on Mexico. I would do Saudi Arabia before I do Mexico. Mexico is horrible.
That is the
Terrible.
bumper right there. I would do Saudi Arabia before Mexico. That's going to come back to bite you in the ass, isn't it?
No, I mean, sure. If it does, it does. Then whatever. But this because I watch the USA, I also have to unfortunately watch a lot of Mexico. Mexico is terrible. Their coach does not care. The entire nation of Mexico hates him, and the coach does not care. The squad that he picked seems to be anathema to scoring goals. There's so many boring teams in this tournament. Saudi Arabia also incredibly boring team. But Mexico is not only batting attack occasionally, they also leak goals. They basically do nothing like 70% of the games they play. And then they maybe sneak a goal in to beat the likes of Honduras and Panama, or they leak a bunch of goals in the back, which is what happened to them against the USA. Mexico sucks. Poland sucks too. This entire group suck. This is the worst group in the entire tournament. I hate having to pick anybody. I mean, Argentina is going to go through easily. I hate picking any other team. I'm going to pick Saudi Arabia for the hell of it.
Yeah. Okay. Sure.
Plus,
it's probably Poland.
Plus,
not taking the punt with Poland, eh?
It's probably Poland, but I also don't like their team, and I picked them before and been on the ass.
Well, that was pretty open and shut. Group D, on the other hand, is looking a bit spicy. We've got France, Australia, Denmark, and Tunisia. Denmark, obviously, having a pretty good Euros. Not as good as England, as you recall, but still pretty good. They still, I think it was a Danish person tweeted one of my favourite tweets of all time, that they will they'll stick that goal in the British Museum along with everything else they've stolen.
Yeah, I think I would do.
And obviously France, firm favourites.
The complication here is how far those French injuries are going to really hold them back. I mean, I still think they're probably the best in this group, but maybe not. Maybe it is Denmark. And I don't know enough about Australia. What are they like, Bing?
Australia features a striker whose nickname is Cum Dog, who they've naturalized from Scotland, and an 18-year-old who just started playing professionally.
Did you say Cum Dog?
Yes, his nickname is actually Cum Dog. Go look up Jason Cummings. The vast majority of their players either play in the Australian League, which is barely professional, or the Scottish League, the non-Celtic or Rangers version of the Scottish League.
I think just a quick public service announcement. If you are at work, maybe don't Google Cum Dog on your work computer.
Just Google Jason Cummings.
Yeah.
That's his real name. Oh well, I'm sorry. That's okay. Australia is a fun vibes team, and I'm 100% in support of Australia doing well in this tournament. I love a lot of their players, including one of their backup goalies, who was put on against Peru for the penalties, and he started dancing around like a maniac, and somehow won the penalty shootout. So, Australia is fun, but they suck. Tunisia is the boring type of suck. It's France and Denmark should easily top this group. France has to do something catastrophic to not go through the group.
Absolutely. Same for Denmark, really.
Well, yeah, same for Denmark. But I think Denmark might top the group over France. France has played Denmark a lot in World Cup, and they never do well against Denmark. And Denmark just recently beat France 2-0 in the Nations League, by the way, against pretty much this France lineup without N'Golo Kante and Pogba and all those great players. The France on talent should be a favorite, but even with all the injuries, but there's something about this team I don't know. You get a bad feeling about the squad chemistry, and they are well on their way past their coaches getting stale portion of the lifeline.
Who starts in goal for France?
Hugo Lloris, your goalie.
Yeah, about him.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure if it'd be him or Ariola.
Yeah, no, it's Hugo Lloris, the captain.
Okay.
So,
I would say honourable mention for Australia's team. I'm just reading here on the Guardian, the little team profiles, which I recommend. I think you sent this round, Bing. That their team have been pretty outspoken about the LGBTQ plus stance.
They're good people. I'm not sure they're good football players, but they're good people. That's probably more important.
Yeah, the Brienne of Tarth Award for Best Soul goes to Australia, I think. All right, so we all unanimous, France followed by Denmark, or is anyone going to
I'm going with Denmark followed by France.
Okay.
I'm just going to be weird this entire prediction. Be completely wrong.
France.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, when it's a...
It's just
Sorry,
going
Neil, go on.
to say, France and Denmark for me.
Cool. Yeah, when it's a Qatar-Saudi Arabia final.
Oh yeah, that'll be fun.
So yeah, moving on. Group E, another set of exciting teams. Spain, Costa Rica, Germany, and Japan. Two favourites in here.
Yeah.
Spain and Germany, very, very high up the bookies' favourites list. Costa Rica, I'm not. Does Joel Campbell still play for them? That's about my only exposure to Costa Rica.
Yeah, Joe Campbell still plays for them. And well, I guess one of the remaining players that's still sort of in their prime from the 2014 quarterfinal run. Costa Rica, they almost didn't make it. They only sort of recovered in their last few games to just get to the playoff where they beat New Zealand. Yeah, New Zealand. They're aging out of their relevance. But they still have one of the best keepers in the world in Keylor Navas, who's still good, even though he is aging out of his relevance very soon. Japan is tricky because they have a lot of good players in Europe, but they don't really have a top star. And their coach, there's a lot of questions about their coach and his tactics and whether he's too conventional, too conservative or not. It's going to be Spain and Germany. I think Spain over Germany. Germany, their striker is either a 17-year-old who is actually this really good 17-year-old in Yusufa Mokoko, or a journeyman who played in the lower trenches of the Bundesliga and second Bundesliga for most of his career. But Spain, they keep coming up with these new kids, like 18, 17, 18-year-olds that suddenly become like these turn into these veteran tiki-taka players when they go wear a Spain shirt. They already had Pedri, who was the young player of the year in the Euros. Now they have Gavi, who's even younger. Spain looks like the team that you should watch out for, but they could also flame out just as easily, though.
I agree. They look the best of the European teams, maybe now with what's happened to France. I don't know why. I feel this is the year when South America wins. It's been a long time.
Yeah,
Whether Brazil, Argentina, I feel it's due in some weird way.
Yeah, agreed. I can't look beyond. I think Germany are going to top it. I think it's time. They've had a bit of a lull. I mean, they haven't done too badly for a lull, but I think Germany top, Spain second. They're both, as you say, Bing. They've both got some fresh names, a bit of a youth injection. Should be exciting.
Go Spain then Germany.
Remind me, what happened to Germany in the Euros again?
Oh yeah, you don't remember? You really don't remember? No.
Sorry.
I would still probably favor England against Germany this time in turn again.
Really? Cool.
Not as much as before, and depends on how Southgate decides to play.
All right, cool. 3 groups remaining. We're now into. This is a fun group. This is such a World Cup group. This one. Group F: Belgium, Canada, Morocco, and Croatia.
Get ready for my hot takes.
Could it get any more World Cup than that?
Get ready for my hot takes.
What, Canada to top the group?
Yes. 100%. Canada to top this group.
I think Belgium would go into a period of national mourning if that happened.
Canada is better than the USA and Mexico right now, and might be for the upcoming future as well. Canada also has the best attacking players in this entire group. Just attacking players. Although the midfield is actually not that bad either. Alphonso Davies, Jonathan David, plus a combination of either Kyle Larin or Matejan Buchanan is actually completely frightening especially to these 3 teams. Belgium is washed. They're long past their whatever golden generation. They're washed. And the young players that they try to inject, they injected too late, and they have no experience at the international level. They're the only 2 world-class players they really have left are Kevin De Bruyne and Thibaut Courtois. Eden Hazard is done.
That is bold. So Lukaku, Tielemans.
Lukaku isn't fit. Lukaku just came back from injury, and has Lukaku in his past 2 seasons convinced you that he's a good striker anymore? Tielemans his form has been dreadful since the start of the season. Leicester is still battling relegation right now.
That's not his fault though. He's actually been pretty decent. Him and Maddison. I mean, Maddison.
Yes.
Yeah, Leicester. Waning at the bottom of the Premier League towards the bottom anyway. He's managed to book himself a place on the plane.
Defenders are still Jan Vertonghen and Toby Alderweireld. It's still those two.
It
Thomas
really is.
Vermaelen
And
retired. That's why he's not in this team.
yeah, I'm not gonna lie that Dendoncker doesn't convince either with
Fullbacks are still Thomas Meunier and Yannick Carrasco. It's the same team, but now 2 years, now 4 years older. Canada's going to feast on their backline if they don't play their absolute best and like somehow turn back the years. That's what's going to help Belgium get anywhere in this tournament. Somehow they just somehow rewind time, because even in some of the recent results have been diabolical.
So the opening game in this group is Belgium-Canada. Do you think Canada wins that? What, like 1-0 or something? Or 2-1? Or do you think it's going to be big?
Yeah, there'll be goals. There'll be goals.
Something like 3-1 Canada, I think.
Wow.
Look, this is me getting it completely out there. It's very likely Belgium just crushes Canada. They still have Kevin De Bruyne, who's still one of the best players in the world. But the fear, if Belgium doesn't go in with a clear game plan, a clear understanding of who they're playing against, and they underestimate Canada in any way, Belgium will lose that game.
Wow.
And the other teams are also actually very dangerous in Croatia and Morocco. Croatia is somehow still good. Yes, Luka Modric is older than Dirt, but somehow I think he's a vampire because he's just gotten better and better every year. The older he gets.
I know, he's insane.
Perisic is not good anymore.
Oh, but for his age, he's still kicking.
I guess. But like like Luka Modric, the guy is an actual vampire. And Croatia, I think actually so if Canada doesn't surprise, I think the logical, if you want to actually bet money on whatever I say, which you should not, I think the best choices are for just being completely neutral or whatever, it's Croatia and Belgium. Even then, I don't have Belgium favored to go first. Just look at how old that team is and where their players' careers have been in recent years.
I feel Croatia will not do that well.
I don't know. I think Croatia actually did refresh its squad enough to be good in this tournament. So it's tough. This is much closer than people realize. Morocco actually has just as a decent chance as any. The problem with Morocco is that they fired the coach right before this tournament because the coach got into a huge spat with Hakim Ziyech, who refused to play for Morocco unless the coach was fired. So they went with Ziyech. Which I know that almost never went so well.
Like the NBA. I'll take Belgium and Croatia. I can't root for anything Canada.
That's fine. Oof. My actual prediction. That's not the one that's the same prediction. My actual prediction is Canada, Croatia.
All right.
I would be again. I can't see Belgium not going through for whatever. Maybe it's tournament history bias, like legacy bias in my perception. I don't know.
I think I'm with you on this one. Bing, but I'm going to go even more rogue. I'm going to go Canada, Morocco.
Yeah, oh yeah. Let's go.
I'm looking down the team sheet for Morocco. I'm seeing a couple names that I like the look of. You know, Hakimi's a decent player, really decent player. Amrabat, even Saiss isn't too bad. Boufal, like this team has legs.
Again, they fired a coach right before the tournament. That's always a huge question mark. So I don't trust them. But on talent, Morocco is just as good as the other two games.
Gosh,
this group is fun. This is the one fun group in the World Cup, I think.
Because anything could happen.
Yeah, the so quote unquote best team is just not good enough to really just stamp out all the opposition. So they're going to leave the room wide open. The other teams are actually just as good as each other.
This is interesting.
Croatia, who finishes bottom then? If it's Canada, Morocco, who do you think does better out of Belgium, Croatia overall?
Belgium will edge it. I reckon head to head they'll probably win. You know, pensioners against pensioners. I'm just hoping there's a Kevin De Bruyne hamstring twing along the way that unfortunate.
Wow, he might. He plays so many games.
He does. Hey man, I've got to take him where I can. All right. I think this is the first group we've come along where everyone has given a different answer, which is interesting.
Tells you it's the best group to watch.
Yeah, I'm gonna pick Belgium bottom.
Wow.
Hot take.
Gonna be interesting when we're all wrong.
I'm fully expecting to be completely wrong on this one. I'm just going completely rogue.
All right, nice. Well, we are into the final two groups. I think Group G has the tournament favourites, Brazil. Got always fun, Serbia. Dark horses, Switzerland. And the mighty Cameroon.
Brazil has to top it, right?
They should. It's not easy. It's not an easy group by any measure. Switzerland will always give you problems, right? But
Xhaka. Captain Granit Xhaka. Is he going to
He's
get a
good.
red card? Is he going to score 2 goals? And just, it's that beautiful, who knows?
he's good though this season, right? You guys know he's good.
Well, he's
He's rock
always
solid.
been good for Switzerland, hasn't he? I mean, even when he was shit for us, he was always captaining Switzerland at a level above. I think he takes it really seriously. He's on form right now. I'm going to
Jordan
go
Shaqiri
Switzerland
is
second,
not
actually.
Yeah.
That's going to be my bold prediction. Switzerland second in this group.
Yeah, I'm agreeing with that. I'm definitely on the same page.
Serbia has a lot of high end talent, like world class talent, and talent that don't belong.
Oh wow,
and
Tadic is still playing.
Tadic is good.
But are they better than Cameroon? That's the question.
They are. They should be. Cameroon isn't horrible, but they're kind of eh. Choupo-Moting is somehow the new Lewandowski at Bayern Munich. So don't count him out. No, I think I'm with you guys, Brazil and Switzerland. Really, but for Brazil. Oh yeah, sorry.
Yeah, I was just going to say on Cameroon, and Mbumo is having a pretty good season for Brentford.
He was just naturalized though. It's always they always play that game. It's always been dangerous. You try to throw its established names, brand new into the squad. It's always 50-50 how that goes.
God, just taking a second. If we're looking at the Guardian guide of what they think their probable lineup is for Brazil, my goodness, have they really put Richarlison through the middle and Neymar in centre mid?
Yes. Yep.
What are they smoking there? And please, can I have some? Because they are just on. They're on another planet, and they've got Gabriel Jesus in the squad.
They do.
Yeah,
and they're playing him.
Yeah, it works.
Wait, Richarlison doesn't even start for the
Spuds.
He
He scores on Brazil and doesn't score for us so far.
He plays here and there.
I play Gabriel Jesus every day of the week, and it's not because it's Arsenal versus, but I mean, just no.
It doesn't matter who they really put up front. The names that they do matter. Neymar in the center with Vinny Jr., who is going to be the real star for that team, by the way.
Yeah, I 100% agree with that. He is such a player, just waiting to explode onto the global stage. I would say Rafinha as well. Like, he's been very quiet since his move from Leeds. Well, actually, has he?
He's been good. He scored some few goals for them. He's been good. And either him or Anthony, who's look,
sitting on the bench according to the Guardian.
If we have time, we can do some predictions for Golden Boot before we close out. But
okay, yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Let's I mean, I think are we all
Brazil. Look, Neymar is a heinous person. In addition to all the diving and all that, he's now revealed himself to be a fascist too by supporting Jair Bolsonaro in the recent election. But this is his last stand as well as Messi. And, he has to win. It has to be now. He has to win. And this is the best Brazil team since 2006.
My God, he's 30.
Yeah, no, this is pretty much his last World Cup as well. But this is the best team since Brazil team since 2006. The only problem is they don't have fullbacks. Their fullbacks aren't very good, and that's how Argentina beat them in the Copa America, by exploiting the fullbacks and then defending deep. So I don't know about all the way, but they should win this group, and they should go pretty far in the tournament.
So on to H.
Just quickly, I'm going to Switzerland second. I think we're all Brazil top.
Same.
I'm going Switzerland second.
Yeah.
Who's the Fulham player that plays for Serbia? He's out.
Cool.
Right.
Is Mitro actually out?
Mitrovic.
Oh God, Mitro is out.
I think he's
Is
out.
he actually out?
I don't know. He was I don't think he played in the City game a couple weeks ago.
He
So
didn't play in the City game, but I'm not sure if he's actually out for this tournament. Yeah, that would be a huge loss. Mitro is. But they still have Vlahovic.
Yeah, I love
a
watching
very
him.
good player.
He is listed on their team as of Twitter 11.
Yeah, he's on the team. I'm not sure. I mean, he's on the team.
Oh
I'm
yeah,
not
they'll
sure.
definitely put him in the. They'll definitely put him in the squad.
I'm just not sure if he might be out for the first two games. Who knows?
Yeah, even if his limbs are taped together, he's getting on that plane. Like, all right, final group. We've done it, guys. Group H. we have Portugal, Ghana, Uruguay, and South Korea. Do you know what? Another fun World Cup group. Look at that. We're touching 4 continents with this group, unless I'm very ignorant and have missed something.
You got it.
It's a fairly tricky one, I think.
It's a little tricky.
Yeah, probably the group of death. I'd say the most likely to be called group of death.
It's another very close group. I'm not sure about a group of death. A pretty close group.
Do you want to go first, Bing? Who do you reckon's coming top here? What's the ranking?
It should be Portugal. I'm telling Portugal should be one of the favorites to win the World Cup. In reality, the coach is still Fernando Santos, and he's still trying to build the team around Cristiano Ronaldo. And Cristiano Ronaldo is currently setting fire all around him. He's burning down Manchester United. He's burned out his own career. And the guy isn't very good anymore. He'll still score goals if you force everything through Ronaldo. He'll still score goals. But that's coming at a cost of everywhere else in the team. But
I think worst of all for Ronaldo is he's also trying to bring back Piers Morgan, which is just please let that man die.
Look,
He does
Piers
get
Morgan-
good interviews, though, doesn't he? The annoying
Morgan knows
little cunt.
exactly what he's doing. He's
Yeah.
opening a stage and let Ronaldo set himself on fire. It's great TV.
Oh man, I still think they'll win though the group, just about. But
If South Korea, if Son Heung-min was fully healthy, I have question marks.
but he's not healthy, right? He's not playing.
He is playing.
He's wearing
I'm not sure how
a
healthy he
mask.
is.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's going full Dark Knight. It's a facial injury, so I'm not sure how much that actually affects his ability on the pitch. But he also hasn't been very good this season. He was great last season. And see how fast things change.
2 good
in just a few
games.
months. But
That's it.
Uruguay, Uruguay is actually a team to look out for. I think Uruguay wins this group.
Really?
Wow.
I mean, isn't that surprising? Uruguay has always done very well in World Cups, right?
Darwin Nunez for Golden Boot.
They're good. Somehow they found another great striker out of nowhere when Luis Suarez and Edinson Cavani are aging out of relevance. Darwin Nunez, well, it's really the midfield, right, of Spurs' favorite Rodrigo Bentancur and Real Madrid star Federico Valverde.
It's in Curzon one right now. He's probably our best player at the moment.
I think Uruguay had a huge dip during qualifying where they looked like they couldn't qualify, but then they recovered, and I think they refreshed the team just in time, handed it over to these new players that are in form, that just in form in the prime of their careers. I think they win the group. I think Portugal, there's going to be problems with Portugal. Everybody who's a good player in the club team, or great player in the club team, like Bernardo Silva, Bruno Fernandes, all these players suck suddenly when they put on Portugal jerseys because they're forced into square pegs and forced to round holes as square pegs due to Cristiano Ronaldo. Who should
Basically,
not start.
I mean, yeah, realistically, they should be playing Jota through the middle.
Like Jota's injured.
Oh well, there we go then. I don't know. I think the recent thing Ronaldo he rises to the occasion. It's why he is arguably the greatest player of all time. And this isn't just because I may have drawn Portugal in my company sweepstakes, but
Congratulations.
I am going to put them top of this group. And
Good luck.
I don't really like Darwin Nunez as a person.
I know him as a person.
He's a decent footballer. So it has to be Uruguay. And again, no offense to my Ghanaian friends, but I really hope Thomas Partey gets an early plane home. So yeah, Portugal, Uruguay.
He's got a court date, doesn't he?
Anyways,
Okay.
I wasn't going to mention that.
All right.
We are not allowed to mention that, and Vassals of Kingsgrave knows nothing and will not be privy to any legal discussions.
Let's put it this way. Ghana naturalized a bunch of players, just like Cameroon. Include Tarek Lamptey at Brighton. Apparently he's Ghanaian. As well as Inaki Williams from Bilbao, who has historically said he wouldn't do this. Here he is. I don't think Ghana will cause too many problems, but it could. They're not bad. South Korea, Kim Min-jae, the center back who Spurs was eternally linked to before he actually moved to Napoli, is having one of the best seasons of a defender in Italy. So it isn't just Son Heung-min's show for South Korea. Uruguay, I guess Portugal, but I'm placing huge question marks over Portugal as well.
I think it's Portugal, Uruguay, and I'd like to see South Korea make a little noise, but I don't see them getting out of this.
Nina, wrap us up.
I don't know. Portugal, Uruguay, South Korea, Ghana. I don't know. It's hard to think South Korea won't go through. But I do think Uruguay are a bit of a dark horse, and I do think Portugal, annoyingly. Oh, is this the time when Ronaldo, with all the mess around him, doesn't perform on the stage when he's meant to perform? No, Portugal, Uruguay, South Korea.
He always performs. He always goddamn scores and performs. He will do well.
He may score. I'm not sure the team around him will.
But does that matter if they lift the World Cup?
It might matter if they can get out of this group because they leave huge holes in the back. Their entire midfield becomes non-functional. And the wingers clash with him. The team is just not well structured enough with him at the top. If any other player, you put them at the top. And everybody else actually fall in place very nicely. And this team suddenly becomes a World Cup threat. But they're going to start Ronaldo, and they're going to build a team around him, and he's going to score maybe a goal or two. And they're going to leave the tournament early. That's what I think.
Can I ask an ignorant football, soccer fan question about the single name status? When can you run that? When is that okay in your career? Like, you can't be in League 2 and go by just your first name, right? You got to be playing it really.
When did Beyonce become Beyonce? When, you know?
Some of it's also just cultural. Like in Spain, Portugal, Iberian countries, sometimes they just run it for a single name. That's just how it is. It's how regular Joe Bob could also just be Joe Bob in Brazil or Spain or Portugal.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I think I don't know. I think you just got to be bold and go for it. Like if I didn't have glass ankles, you never know. It could have been Popsinho. Binginho has a good ring to it.
Yeah, definitely.
Binaldo.
We'll take the full name Sabina, so Sabinho. I think is what.
Ooh,
that's a good one. Pretty sure that is a player.
Probably.
All right, so Bina, I think you're. I think you've have you landed on Portugal and Uruguay then?
Yeah, I think so.
All right. Well, two last categories, late entrants that we're throwing in there at the death. Overall winners.
Brazil or Argentina for me.
All right, we'll do two choices. We're very early on.
I think that's the final. I think predicting the final. Actually, no, because then you've got to know the routes through.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah,
they'll run into Argentina in the finals if they all go through.
Yeah, Brazil, Argentina to me are the best, and one of them will win. With Uruguay as my stalking horse, maybe. It's going to be Latin America.
The conventional answer: Argentina undefeated in 35 games. I want to pick Brazil because I really, really like their team and really like a lot of their players on the team. But Argentina beat them recently. Argentina actually, for once in their Messi career, for once in Messi's career, they have a functional team that's complete all around, that can defend and can defend hard and can still score goals and actually properly score goals and not just rely on Messi.
And this is Messi's chance, right? It's the only major tournament he has.
This is his last chance. This is his last chance.
It sounds weird because I'm English, but I actually want Argentina to win for Messi because I think Messi deserves it. He's given so much to world football, so much joy. I would love to see him be a World Cup winner, and I can't believe I'm saying that as an English person, but it is what it is. Football must be the winner. Football must be the winner.
He's in the tournament where it feels like everyone's a loser.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
But I mean, yeah, he has given so much to world football, very little to the tax man. But you know,
you do.
We look past that. I'm gonna go. I think it's got to be one of the legends. I think I saw a headline about it's actually the old men who are going to shine in this tournament. So I think it's going to be Portugal or Argentina.
Portugal.
Good luck with that Portugal.
Yeah, yeah.
So
why not,
I
man?
just shared in the chat, the Discord chat, some statistical analysis done by Oxford Economics. And if you look at the probability of winning the World Cup, they have Brazil slightly edging out Argentina. So Brazil's at 14.72%, Argentina's at 14.3%. But in third, they've got Netherlands at 7.84.
I get where they're coming from with that one.
And Spain at 7, France at 6, Belgium at 6, Portugal at 5.6. So Portugal's 7th. Then Denmark over Germany and Uruguay in at 10th. This is apparently based on forecasts the Selección to have. It's based on analyzing team rating data from EllaRatings.net, focusing on every first team international game since 2018.
If this is some sort of league system in which you play 38 games against with each other, then those numbers mean a lot. 7 game at most tournaments, crazy shit could happen. It's 1-on-1 knockout.
Yeah.
I pay very little attention to these to these projections. That said, the fact that Brazil and Argentina are top, I agree with that. I understand where they're coming from with Netherlands stuff. Louis van Gaal is very
agreed.
Spain and France. But we were hitting on Belgium. They've got Belgium above Portugal.
Well, okay. A lot of this is based on past results.
Well, it's all based on past results.
It's all based on past results. The problem is Belgium aging out of relevance, unfortunately, is something that's hard for these numbers to account for. And it's also hard for them to account for the fact that Cristiano Ronaldo decides to do an interview with Piers Morgan.
So your prediction is what? Argentina and Portugal? No, that's Pops. That's Pops.
I go with I lean towards Brazil, but their fullbacks is a problem. I lean towards Brazil because they have the more fun attacking players, and I want them to do well. But I think the logical choice.
They'll be good to watch.
Yeah, they'll definitely be good to watch. I think the logical choice to be favorite is Argentina. But if you want a dark horse, I would point towards Denmark.
Denmark.
Well,
yeah, Netherlands are good value, but yeah. All right, what are you thinking, Neil?
Yeah, it's either Argentina or Brazil. I would like to see Argentina do it. Brazil's going to be very fun to watch. My dark horse, I'm rooting for England, but I don't think they'll make it. Yeah, no. I'd love to see after the Euros. I was really pulling for England, but yeah, I just don't think they do it. Especially based on the defending. I guess I'll pick Argentina to win.
Okay, furious agreement.
Nice. So I've thrown in the dark horses you guys have mentioned. I think we got Neil with England, Bing with Denmark. I'm throwing in Netherlands and Bina.
Uruguay.
Your dark horse, Uruguay. Okay.
So real like so dark. It's I don't know. You can barely
mostly uneducated. I don't know if it's that hot. Take.
Go with.
No thanks.
Go with Canada. Go with Canada.
We still believe, Bing. We still believe.
Go with Canada.
Final round. We're going to go with Golden Boot.
Because it almost depends on who has the better group stage as well of the teams that you think are going to progress. So who has the easier group of Brazil, Argentina, basically? Who can win 4-0 in an early match, sort of thing.
Yeah, I think based on that, I mean, we've got England. If Harry Kane, he never misses a penalty.
But we're not going to go through the group stage, so that limits your scoring ability.
They're going all the way.
We will have penalties whenever we need to have them. So that I suppose gives extra goals, but yeah.
Yeah, we'll put 9 past the USA and then lose to Iran.
Harry Kane's the reigning Golden Boot, isn't he? From the last World Cup.
What, Harry Kane?
Yeah, it was. It was him, right?
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
he's not a bad shot.
Good value.
You're not going to throw it. You're not going to put on any other strikers besides him. Vinny Jr. I'm going to go with.
Take Messi.
Yeah, that's a good call. I mean, surely, Noah, if you think Portugal's going to win it, you've got to have Ronaldo, CR7.
I do, but then there's so many eggs in that basket. And there's a lot of money that we've put on these predictions.
And glory on this.
There's a lot riding on this. Yeah, screw it. Go on, CR7. This is it. I absolutely love that he has doused Man United in petrol and lit a match.
Yeah, I mean,
it's been really enjoyable.
we talk about Lionel Messi like giving so much to world football, but arguably Cristiano Ronaldo has given more to world football this year than
He's
Messi.
given all sorts of things to world football these days.
Little bit
He's got
spicy.
the worst Golden Boot odds on lineups.com.
Really? So who's odds on? Who's odds on to win?
Messi's.
What's the ranking?
I'm sorry, Mbappe's top, then Messi, Neymar.
Ooh, Mbappe is a shout.
I don't know why they did
I thought Mbappe wasn't fit.
Mbappe's fit.
Oh, okay.
He's definitely. He's said stuff that made him sound very incredibly arrogant and selfish, but he's in. Oh, actually, the real shout here, Karim Benzema.
Yeah, actually, that's a good one.
Yeah. Another man like your Luka Modric who just keeps getting better with age, you know?
And gets it done. Just quietly gets it done.
When he's not bribing,
Absolutely.
he's not blackmailing his teammates. Anyways,
I just have so much time for Modric. Any dark horses?
for the Golden Boot,
Dark horse for the Golden Boot.
yeah, Jonathan David of Canada. I'm semi-serious about this one though.
Any more dark horse? I don't think so. I mean, it depends. If you think this is going to be a low-scoring tournament, then yeah, I mean, we could absolutely see something insane.
Who plays better in the hot weather?
I think so.
Good point.
That's partly why I've gone for some of the South American players.
Go for Akram Afif of Qatar.
Lay your money down.
I don't even know who the Saudi players are. Mehdi Taremi of Iran,
Right.
who's actually
Nice. All right, well, let's leave it there. Thank you for joining us, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining me today, listeners. I said that the wrong way around. Anyway, we will be doing this again. We will follow through until an emotional exit from either the USA or England, and some of us can no longer bear to talk about the World Cup anymore.
Just like the Euros.
Just like the Euros. But I think we'll do this again. We'll meet up maybe for a little group stage review in a couple of weeks. Get ready for football, non-stop football all the time. 3, 5, however many games a day. Book your meeting rooms at work. Make sure you've got, refresh your data so you can watch it on the bus. And yeah, come join us again in a couple of weeks.
Take care.
See you soon, guys.
Thanks,
Bye.
Pops. Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.
Take
Good
care,
luck
guys.
in the wars to come.
Isn't it wild that Italy is not in this tournament after just winning the Euros?
There's always one, isn't there? There's always one team that it has been England that it just, baffles why they're not in the tournament.
It was the USA. Last time.
Excellent.
So-
We were just having a conversation about whether West Ham or Leyton Orient is our closest team.
Oh, if they didn't worry.
Yeah.
West Ham is just disappointment all around.
There's a couple around there. Could be Charlton, maybe?
Yeah,
Not
and it
sure.
could be
I'll have to look at the
Millwall,
map.
because when you open the BBC weather app,
Don't go
it's
with
we're in Millwall. Yeah.
Don't go with Millwall.
Yeah.
Don't go with Millwall.